down. What is going
Turbo
on?
time.
What is cracking? That's right. The holiday Kung Fu Avengers are all here back again to talk movies
What
and have
up?
some fun on another episode of Versus. That's right. Two holiday classics going head to head today. We have Home Alone versus Jingle All the Way. There can only be one. That's right. Let's see who is here in the house. We have Ian from Retro Cereal. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks
glad
for
to have
having
you
me
back
on. I
here.
really appreciate it. It's
Oh
awesome
yeah,
to be here
anytime, my friend.
talking
Anytime.
about
That's
these
right.
great
Yeah.
movies.
Oh
It's
yeah.
going to be
Oh
great.
yeah. And we have the tag team champions. That's right. Of metal and horror. That's right. DJ Netco and the Anubis in the house. Ho ho hey. That's right. Welcome back, tag team champs. How's the belts? Are you still shining the belts?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Make sure they're shining.
Unbeatable.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And back again, revisiting from box office banter, son. We got Brandon in the house. How you doing, my friend?
Oh man, doing great. Just happy
Chilling.
to be up in this bitch, man. Thank you
Love
for
it, love it.
having me on, man.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, chilling. That's
Christmas
right.
spirit.
That's right. Christmas spirit. That's right. And Mr. Tony of the Dead.
Whoop, whoop.
That's right.
Funky Cold Medina.
The
Tony,
legend is back
Okay.
himself. How you doing, Tony?
I'm doing good. How are
Oh,
you?
great, man. Great. I'm glad you're doing good. And for it's been a while, but we got the sexy sumo up in the house here with with a friend.
Hey, what's going on?
Delicious crumb.
Yeah, Salacious Crumb is here with us as well.
He's
guys.
the homie, man. Got to come
How
in
did
and
I not
represent.
notice that sitting on your shoulder?
Shout out to
Damn.
Salacious Crumb.
I'm not very observant. clearly.
We have Sam Kench, author. That's right, badass. That's right, back from Brick Wall Pictures. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on. It's always a fun
Good,
time.
good. All right, all right. And before we get into it, I'm hearing something. What is something?
Uh-oh.
Something. I mean, there's some bells. I'm saying, what is? Oh my God! I think he's here. Oh my God! I know who's here. That's right. He knows when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows when you've been bad or good. So be good for goodness sake. And yes, he is also known for conquering the Martians.
Yay.
Holy shit! Santa Claus is here.
Where are my naughty peeps at? Where's my naughty
Right here.
Right on the list. Right here.
There you are.
We gotta put him in the middle there. Santa, how are you doing, my friend?
Well, I'm doing my 1 day of work tomorrow.
It's a pretty good gig.
I'm a glorified FedEx guy. Working with Amazon now. So the elves and Mrs. Claus, they're doing all the work tonight, and I'm getting ready to go tomorrow.
I've been good. I've been good, my friend. If you,
Oh yes.
if you,
Well, I
if
don't.
you believe
I know. I know if you've been naughty or nice.
Damn it.
That don't worry. You got presents coming.
Oh
yeah.
shit.
I'm also on
So that whole raise your hand thing was
All
bullshit.
right. All right.
Santa Confidential.
Ooh.
Get your
Hold on, let me blow that
autographed
up.
copies with special book plates by the
Very
artist
nice.
Chris Brown,
Oh,
Ooh.
and you can get it by emailing me at asksantaanything@gmail.com. Asksantaanything.com.
Nice.
Love it.
Oh,
Love it.
Cool.
That's ASK.
What an honor to have.
I'll be changing that address to Great Ass.
Oh man. Having a blast
ASK
already.
Santa Anything at gmail.com for your own autographed copy.
Look at that. Nice, nice.
Nice.
Well, thanks for hanging out with us today, Santa.
Always
And,
a pleasure. I've
let's
heard
see.
great things about this show. Everybody gets along so well and are in total agreement with each other.
Yes.
Always.
Always.
Oh man. Well, let's say what's up to the Movie Dojo Army. Shout out to Jake Hall in the house. Jad, what's going on? Lady Danish, Bob Odin's son. That's right. We got Brandon, another Brandon. Who else we got here? Oh, we have DJ Anubis in the house. Little Alex. All right. Lit Alex, Tribal Chief, Robert. Oh shit, they're trickling in all the badasses. All right, let's keep it rock
Sweet.
and rolling. Let's keep it going. All right, I'm gonna kick it off first. Home Alone, man. Home Alone. What a fun movie. Saw it in theater when it came out, and it had everything you wanted. And you know, it's great because you get the classic John Williams score, and it was fun. And it was fun seeing Joe Pesci being in a family movie, which is hilarious because
Right?
behind the scenes, Joe Pesci had issues with the script being in a family movie. So he's like, "All right, I'm gonna pull out my inner Yosemite Sam." And
Right.
basically, all his curse words were like that, like
Wow.
you know. Like,
Okay.
it was so funny. His bootleg cartoon cursing was pretty funny, and some great stunt work. You know, stunt work. Shout out to the stuntman. Took some bumps for sure
Right.
in that movie, but it's funny, man. I mean, you know, I'm not going to argue with somebody who says that it's their favorite Christmas movie of all time because it just has everything you wanted, and I enjoyed it in the theater. Now, here's the thing: I actually ended up liking Home Alone 2 more when I saw Home Alone 2 in the theater, but I haven't revisited Home Alone 2 since I saw it in the theater.
It's that
So-
ending, man. They amp
That-
everything up.
Yeah, that's
Even
probably why I
more.
liked it more because it was more violent. Samurai guy, it's me. But yeah, man, it's a classic. I'm not going to talk too much because we got a full panel here. But yeah, it's a great flick. It's a lot of fun. All right, Tony.
Yeah, I too saw this in the theater. I was 10 years old. I didn't realize this was 31 years old now. It's crazy.
I know.
But yeah, I saw it in the theater as well. I saw Jingle All the Way in the theater as well too. But I've seen Home Alone probably a little more than I saw Jingle All the Way. But I always loved it. It's nostalgic, you know, the pranks and everything. Even the video games, playing the video games, growing up with Home Alone games is like they were kind of neat to play too. You know, putting down the traps for them and everything. It's just fun, you know. It's I don't know. It's interesting. Some people I know don't like Macaulay Culkin. Like my wife doesn't like him. She hates him in that movie. So, like I don't know. It makes you wonder too. Like a lot of people probably say, like, what did his father do that he was able to afford everybody a trip to where were they going? France. They're going to France. Take the whole family to France and live in that house and everything. What did he do?
It was like her brother. It was the mother's brother lived in France, and then they were going to visit. But then he paid for all 13 of them to go to France. Like,
Wow.
I want his job, whatever it was.
right?
But yeah, it's a fun movie. I still like it to this day. I definitely prefer the cut version that everybody sees in the theater than the one that was on TV, because there's like too much extended stuff to it, like where Joe Pesci's waiting in the front of the house to find out where the parents are, and he can't, you know, there's all his kids in the house. Must be a fancy orphanage, you know. So like the Wet Bandits are probably the highlight of the movie. Like they're so good. Marv is like great. They're such good character together. Yeah, it's a great movie. I have a lot of fun watching it, even to this day.
Nice. Check your sound, guys. I'm hearing feedback from somebody, so make sure you guys are. I'm hearing like feedback, so we'll double check your sound. We got a super chat here from Adam Evans. Thanks again, brother, for the super chat. He goes, just popped in to say a Merry Christmas to the panel and the dojo, as we are quite busy at work. Well, be safe at work, my friend, and thanks for popping in and supporting the channel. Really appreciate that. All right. Before we move to the next guy, I forgot to mention this when it was my turn. I found out Siskel and Ebert's thoughts on Home Alone accidentally, and Siskel. This is what Siskel said. He says, "Hey, if you gave, it's like they gave a child $1 million to make a movie. Here you go." So he didn't like it. And Ebert said that this is the exact words from the almighty Ebert, rest in peace, but this is what he says. He said, "This movie is so unrealistic."
So is Star Wars.
Okay.
Nah,
Yeah,
he
I
always
just wanted to
hated
throw
on
that in.
slasher movies, so screw
Yeah.
him anyways.
Yeah,
I
they had
just wanted
some
to
really
throw-
bad takes over the years.
That's
I
like
just wanna
the worst.
throw that in there. Yeah, I
And
know. I know.
those guys condemned kung fu movies, great kung
Yes.
fu
Oh
movies,
my god.
years
Yeah.
and
So
All
years.
my
many horror
favorite
movies
shit.
too.
Just
They
Don't worry
trash
about
talk horror all the time.
Yep, all the time. So y'all know. I just thought I'd throw that in for hilarious purposes. All right, Salacious Crumb, Home Alone.
I love that.
Home Alone, man. Like I said, like Tony said, it's nostalgic. It's an all time classic. You know, me personally, I love Scrooge. Not too many people talk about Scrooge. That's another great one that's been bypassed many times. But
just watch it.
Home Alone, yeah, Home Alone has a lot of fun parts, man. With the action, some of the kid humor and the adult humor. I didn't get the privilege of seeing it in the theaters, but I got to watch it on VHS, and then from then on DVD and Blu-ray and so on and so forth. And I gotta say, if I gotta compare both, I mean, I watched both of them about an equal amount of time or times growing up. You know, obviously much older. I mean, you only get time to watch movies once in a blue moon, but for the most part, I enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. Marv and Harry are great characters to be beaten around here and there throughout the whole movie. Yes, it is unrealistic, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I do wish I could get my hands on the actual R-rated movie that Macaulay Culkin was watching, the black and white one, the gangster flick.
Oh yeah.
There you go. I want that movie. Rick, do you have that movie?
You filthy animal.
We're angels with dirty wings
There you go.
or
So
dirty
Kung Fu
souls.
Santa,
Dirty souls.
I ask if Kung Fu Santa deliver that movie to me Christmas morning, please.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
Sumo. Sumo, you've got to be nice.
Oh,
You've been-
Oh.
You gotta be nice.
dang. Dang.
you've been-
Damn, just putting them on blast right on the stream.
hands are tied.
All right, that's right. Let's keep it moving along here. Sam, Home Alone, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Home Alone's great. It's a much deserved classic. It's the kind of movie that you can kind of like incorporate into your holiday tradition. I think it works as like a yearly staple in that way, which is a claim that not all Christmas movies can handle. I know Chris Columbus directed it, but it really feels like a John Hughes movie. First and foremost, kind of think like everything he wrote as his style kind of overwhelms every other participant's creative input. He just had that ability. Here's a fun fact about John Hughes. I don't know how well known this is. He kept working like way after most people thought he retired. He just started using a pseudonym, like a pen name. He wrote a whole bunch of movies under the name Edmund Dantes, I think is the name. And they're basically just like more John Hughes movies, but like maybe not quite as good. Like if you remember that weird Drill Bit Taylor movie with Owen Wilson, like he wrote that one under a pen name. Yeah. So anyway, Home Alone's great. I like Macaulay Culkin in it. I like Macaulay Culkin's recent resurgence on YouTube with like the Red Letter Media guys and stuff. And you
Yeah.
watch their stuff. He's now like a staple on their Best of the Worst series and stuff. So that's cool to see. I love Pesci. Daniel Stern's really good too. The Wet Bandit duo. I agree is probably like the best part of the movie, as well as all the traps. It's just a good movie. It's funny and it has enough heart in the right places. It gets sentimental without going too overboard, which I appreciate.
All right, copy that. Brandon, Home Alone.
Home Alone, which I am not right now, unfortunately. My wife and kid are yelling in the other room. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, this movie is amazing. It's a childhood favorite, no doubt about it. And in general, there's just something to this movie that just stands the test of time. It's the heartfelt nature, as he just touched on. It's the comedy aspects. It's the dynamic duo of the Wet Bandits for sure. Every little bit of that is so damn good.
Oh my
and it makes
God.
the movie all better for it. As we see Marv take a damn iron to the face. It's perfection, man. It really is. And even like I forget his name, the next door neighbor that has the shovel and all that. Like I always enjoyed like that almost like horror aspect to it. is like Buzz and would always like tell him about him, and then he'd look out the window and they're like, oh, real quick. That always like was really good for me. I don't know what it was, but it added another dimension that helped the movie even more. And I used to always fast forward to the very end of this movie because I just wanted to see all the cool shit. But as he said, as I got older, all the heart and everything else that was involved, I was like, man, I was missing out on so much when I was younger. Why was I hitting that fast forward button? And then as I got older, the skip button. Why? But just an amazing movie overall. I mean, you can't say enough about it. It's really, really great. And a lot of the stuff that Macaulay goes through even before the Wet Bandits, like aside from the Wet Bandits, where he's like taking the BB gun, shooting the toys down, like afraid to go in the basement. All those little things are just like, you can just relate to this character so much because everybody saw it when they were like a little kid for the most part. You know what I mean? It's just, it really resonates in a big way, and it resonates even more as you get older in a big way, and that's a very special thing.
All right, copy that. All right, Ian.
Well, this show really became a holiday classic fairly quickly to a large audience. It really was not one of those movies that was one of those controversial Christmas movies. I think pretty much everybody adopted it as a Christmas movie fairly quickly and for good reason. And I also believe that this movie also shows the genius of John Hughes. John Hughes has the ability to make teenage shows for teenagers. If you were a teenager and you watched Pretty in Pink or you watched The Breakfast Club, you really identified with it. And what that critic who said this feels like a movie that if you gave a kid $1 million to make, that shows the genius of John Hughes. I mean, because it really resonated with children. Because I mean, that's exactly what he's going for. I mean, you want a child's movie to resonate with children, and then the parents to get in on it to take the kid to the movie. But the movie is for children, and it really does show the genius of him to be able to put himself in the mindset in a way that for the participant, it's realistic for them. I know it's not realistic, but it's realistic for them.
Yeah.
If you're a child, it's realistic for you. If you're a teenager, it's realistic for you. You know, his teenage films. The only problem that I have with Home Alone at this point is, and when I was younger and I watched it, I really identified with it. As I get older and watched it, it just became a little bit more campy for my taste. So it's not in heavy rotation at this point. But I can't deny that it was a classic then. It's a classic now. And if people continue to watch it over and over again throughout the holidays, I totally understand why. Personally, for my taste, as I got older, it just got a little bit too campy for me as an older audience participant. So that would be the only thing about it that I would say is a negative, but everything else is completely positive.
All right,
I dig that. I eat that shit up, though, to be honest, on my end. But I understand, though. I really do.
Tag champs, Neko.
So, excuse me. The one thing I really liked about Home Alone is the Wet Bandits were like the Three Stooges minus a stooge. It was slapstick comedy at its greatest. And maybe Kevin could be like the third stooge, but we just watched it the other day and I'm like, how hilarious are they? Like everything that happens and it's ridiculous stuff, like getting your head torched off, like getting your hand like burned. And it just cracked me up. I'm like, this is amazing slapstick comedy, which is a great parallel to Turbo Man and Jingle All the Way, because there's a lot of good slapstick comedy in that as well. And I'm like, we're watching some amazing slapstick comedy. And I feel like a lot of stuff nowadays is not kind of like in that vein anymore. So when we're watching it, I'm like laughing hysterically and he's just looking at me like, what's so funny? I'm like, I feel like I'm watching the Three Stooges. I literally feel like I'm watching the Three Stooges right now. Another like sweet spot for me is at the end, because when Kevin talked to his neighbor in the church and they're talking about like, I haven't talked to my son in many years. And then at the end, Kevin peeks out the curtains and he sees that the neighbor, invited his son over, and then the granddaughter is there. And then I start crying because I'm like, oh my God. So all around, this is hysterical as a comedy movie, but as a Christmas movie, it's exactly what you want. You want the feels at the end, like, oh, everything's wrapped up in a bow. And it was very sweet. I have no hate for Home Alone at all. I mean, do you?
No, a lot of people have already touched on a lot of stuff that I like about the film. Great acting all the way down. Pesci and Stern are amazing. Catherine O'Hara is great. Of course, Macaulay Culkin. The only really negative I would have is there's a moment when O'Hara character, Kevin's mom's on the plane, and she's realized that she's forgot Kevin, and she's like, I must be the worst mom in the world. I'm
yes,
you are the worst mom.
I mean,
you just left your kid. So I suppose if that's where the believability comes from, is that you would actually forget your kid for a holiday vacation. That might be kind of stupid, but it's part of the.
I mean, it's a movie.
It's a movie, so I get it. But it doesn't hurt the movie any. It makes it actually even better. And as everyone has said, towards the end, there's this moment where you think Kevin might be very angry at his mom, but isn't feeling it. He's happy to see her.
He missed her.
The whole 9 yards. So.
Yeah.
Well, you got to remember, he thought his wish came true.
Right.
And how old is he? 8 in this? And so he's thinking he has magic, and he's like, I made my family disappear?
Yeah.
But he's like, oh, great. He's eating all the ice cream. He's calling out to people hey, I'm in your room.
Better come out and
not
pound
that
me.
it's just a movie. There would literally be no movie without it. You have to do that. And they do a decent enough job of trying to make it seem like the parents are good. You actually feel the mother's pain, she cares. I mean, all things considered, I know she's a piece of shit for leaving him, but you can only make up so much, and they do the best with what they got in that regard, and you have to have a movie at the end of the day.
Yep.
So yeah, for sure, man. I feel you on that.
You know what always
Sam?
bothered me in this movie
Go ahead.
is how shitty a job the cop did of trying to see if he was in the house.
Yes! Yes!
It's the little
his
thing.
kid's obviously scared. And it's
They didn't believe her.
Yeah, tell her to count them again. What? She's pretty
Sam, what'd you
sure
say?
he's gone.
Thank God for John Candy.
Oh, yeah.
Sam, what'd you say earlier? You got cut off.
Oh, I was just saying, think of all the 12 other kids she didn't forget. Give her
All about the numbers, man.
Oh, man. All right, Santa.
Oh, thank you. I'm waking up now. Well, it's funny, when up in the North Pole, we see all the movies up in the North Pole. We see every movie. We get special screenings. We get special previews and previews.
Probably a lot of
That's
downtime.
We saw this up at the North Pole. By the way, all the Christmas movies, they get everything wrong. But that's okay. We expect that sort of thing.
Shots
But in
fired.
any case, for this movie, a lot of the elves had some of the same opinions that you guys had. I always say to them, when a Warner Brothers Looney Tunes cartoon comes on, do you expect realism?
Right.
When the Three Stooges or Laurel and Hardy come on, do you expect realism? More importantly, when SCTV comes on, which we watch over and over again, we see John Candy and Catherine O'Hara and all the rest of them. Again, they live within their own rules. This is a Bugs Bunny cartoon in live action. And so the trick of the two great actors playing the roles of the punching bags is they're Wile E. Coyote. They're both Wile E. Coyote. And when they fall off the cliff, they don't get hurt. They come back. At no time, which I think you'll find a difference between this and the next movie you'll be discussing, where people, that movie hurt. This movie doesn't hurt.
Okay.
And the power of John Hughes compels you. It's a shame he didn't direct it. If he directed it, it would have been even better.
Right.
So just we still enjoy it. But again, we're watching new movies. We don't go back to the old movies at the North Pole.
Hey Santa, what's your favorite movie? Like which movie Santa got it closest to the real you?
Well, you tell me. Here I am,
Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob.
You know.
No, I think Kurt Russell.
I was going to say Kurt Russell does a wonderful performance because he plays it real. My favorite screen Santas are the ones who play it real, not the ones who I mean, unfortunately, the guy who played in the Solkind Santa Claus movie, he tried, but not quite right. Ed Asner, not quite right.
Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson. Well, he wasn't.
That's a great movie.
He was playing. It's a good movie.
Yes. Oh my God, my mind is blown
Batman
right now.
Shit.
Oh,
I thought I was the only person in the world that liked that movie, but we'll move on.
Love that movie.
All right, cool. Yay.
Yeah, and most of the cartoons just completely wrong. Just completely. Arthur
right.
Christmas. We're looking. The Polar Express. The elves and I are looking at each other, going, "What is this?"
Tom Hanks, man.
Oh man!
Oh my goodness. So we're gonna go with Kurt Russell then. He's the closest I got.
Kurt Russell is awesome because he plays it real. He plays it and great personality.
Copy that. All right, let's move it along here. Jingle all the way. So around this time in the Samurai House, a lot of drama was going on. A lot of bullshit was going on, unfortunately, and it wasn't a good time. It was not a good time in the Samurai House, and that happens with life. You know how it is.
Man,
I'm not here to depress everyone, but there's a reason why I'm talking about this.
Right.
There's a reason why I'm bringing this up. My mother was really going through a lot, so I wanted to be there for her and show support.
No doubt.
I said, you know what? Let me go take her to a movie.
Oh no!
So I was sitting down and watching TV, and a TV spot for Jingle All the Way came on. And I was already laughing because I was like, okay, because I wasn't expecting it. I was watching something else, and Jingle All the Way commercial came on, and I was like, okay, some genius out there put Arnold Schwarzenegger up against Sinbad to hunt down a toy for his kid during the worst, craziest times of trying to find a gift for your kid around
Christmas Eve.
And I was like, Christmas Eve. And I was already like, this is insane. This is ridiculous. I was already kind of chuckling at just the concept. And I don't know what it is. But Arnold Schwarzenegger that's my homie right there. I love that guy's movies and stuff. But he's like a superhero, right? Like he's untouchable, right? Why is it always funny when you put Arnold Schwarzenegger in like regular real life scenarios? It's hilarious. You could film Arnold Schwarzenegger in the drive-thru at McDonald's. And if they get his order wrong, and he's like, I ordered supersize. You didn't put any barbecue sauce in here. It's hilarious. It's going to be funny, right? Because it's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
We went to the theater. I took her to go see it. She was really down, and I wanted to cheer her up. So we sat in the theater, and she was laughing from beginning to end. She was cracking up. And I was already laughing and enjoying the shenanigans and the crazy shit that was going on in there, and I was having fun with the film. But seeing her face light up and laugh and enjoy everything, and she had a great time. That I remember that stays with me. So that's my connection with Jingle All the Way. I know it's not going to win today. But that's my connection to Jingle All the Way. I'm nostalgic for Jingle All the Way because I think it's a fun flick, but I remember Mom, so that's my little story there.
Good story.
But I mean, come on, Arnold versus an army of Santas. Come on,
the big show,
come on,
man.
Hilarious. But enough of my yakking. Tony, Jingle All the Way. And speaking of, I just did a bad Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. Tony nails it.
I like
Tony,
Everybody's got one, man.
Tony
Everyone's got one.
better than mine. Tony's better than mine.
Get to the sleigh
right now.
It's turbo time. See, that's terrible.
It's terrible time.
See,
I
got this for Christmas this year.
Yay!
Early, huh?
Awesome.
Oh yeah, I already opened all my stuff. We let the kids have their Christmas, and we opened the
Damn.
bars already.
Nice.
But I
You
wanted
didn't want a
this.
booster?
We hate you,
No
Booster.
Booster.
Booster, played by Booger.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, Jingle All the Way. I watched it last night, and it's a movie I have to watch every Christmas too. And like I said, I probably saw Home Alone more than Jingle All the Way, but like not by much.
Yeah.
I always really liked this movie. I like the slapstick. I laughed, even though I know the part's coming, but where he ducks and then he punch Mini Me. I laughed so hard at that. He's like, little buddy, just like little things. Like even when we were gonna do the verses, I made the clip and I said, "Forget that I'm not going to sit on your lap." Like just like little things like that, and like the little things like nowadays you watch, it's like, oh my god, like the bomb in the present. That's pretty scary. And he's like, there was a bomb in that. The sick world, sick people, But like I like them two going at it at each other. The thing that I'm glad about is nowadays you don't see any of the violence with Black Friday and Christmas Eve and stuff like that. Not really anyway. It's mostly all online. So I guess I'm glad because this movie does show its time. You don't really see that much anymore. But regardless of that, even if you don't remember those times, you're too young for it. It is a lot of fun. Jake Lloyd, he's okay. He's just a kid that's upset that his father's never there. Rita Wilson, is gorgeous, and Phil Hartman is such a creep that it's so funny.
Yes.
It's just a very heartwarming movie to me. I actually cried while watching it at the end because it was just like so happy and everything.
Yes.
So honestly, it's going to be tough. Which one I'm going to pick today? To be honest.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Copy
I
that.
like them both.
Copy that.
It's got its big fans, man.
Santa, I have a question for Santa. Where the hell is Sinbad?
Yeah.
Naughty or nice?
He just disappeared.
Very nice, but he was not supposed to be in this film.
Oh.
He came in at the last second, and basically, this movie was put together day to day, and Arnold had complete control. So whatever idea Arnold had, they did. And what he thought funny was brutality, insanity, and sadism. Okay, but like I said, in Home Alone, they worked very hard to make it Wile E. Coyote. Here, I mean, you can imagine us at the North Pole watching the scene and Arnold's beating up all the Santas and the elves. And we were just looking at each other like, okay,
good Lord.
Now we have to deal with this too. So Sinbad also had some medical issues.
Okay.
But the joke is that this movie drove him out of show business.
Wow.
Man.
Well, that makes
Oh,
sense. 'Cause I was
no.
wondering because I like Sinbad. I liked him in House Guest.
I think his stand-up is awesome. If you watch some of his
Oh yeah.
comedy specials, he was a very smart comic.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Hollywood chewed him up and spit him out.
Yeah, he even got rid of his genie movie, dude.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. What was the segue to you, Santa? Go ahead.
Oh, well, I just told you what I thought.
Anything else about the movie?
But wait, there's more.
This was the period where Arnold had the most power. The Last Action Hero in this, what he said went. But,
Gotcha.
But it's like they took a script, an Austrian script, and translated it from Austrian.
Right.
And
Gotcha.
this was the result. It was truly insane. And Sinbad's character is certifiably homicidal.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Arson. I mean, he was trying to kill everyone.
Yeah.
So yeah, we didn't laugh.
Okay. Copy that. All right, Sumo.
Santa did not laugh.
Nor did he. Gordon Mrs. Claus.
Oh,
Go ahead,
boy.
Sumo.
Oh boy, Jingle All the Way, man. What can you say? It's a. I just got done watching it maybe 20 minutes before we started the stream.
Oh,
I watched the extended cut. I don't know if you guys ever saw the extended cut. There's some pretty good stuff on there. I mean,
Not
there was this
sure.
whole like singing quartet between Jim Belushi and the Four Santas.
Nope.
Did this whole singing scene, which was really good too. And I mean, they should have just left it in the original. Yeah, that was pretty good. And then the whole, like I said, having Jim Belushi as the the creepy Santa with the Spanish speaking Turbo Man doll and having a break and then fighting all the Santas and it's that adult humor that we need sometimes to really enjoy a movie ourselves. And then the Big Show. Can't go wrong without the Big Show. And then obviously a big plus for me was having the dwarf being punched. You can't go wrong with that. You gotta love it.
It tells you how big the Big Show
I
is.
want that on
too.
a
The
T-shirt
tower
for
over
next
Arnold.
week. I want that on a T-shirt.
It's fun to punch a dwarf.
No, it's a.
I got damn Santa. You might be on the naughty list.
Come to a door. Remember where they're going to punch you where they can reach.
Oh no!
It was Billy Bob
Be
Thornton.
careful what you
What
wish
is this
for.
thing?
I may
Oh,
bring it
boy.
for Christmas.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Called it.
Obviously, Phil Hartman. You can't go wrong with Phil Hartman, man. I miss that guy. I wish he was still around.
Yeah.
That guy was hilarious, man. He knew how to make a character creepy but yet hilarious. And
Such a
even
devastating way to go, too.
I know. Even on SNL, man, the man he just had a lot of good, chops for the acting and the comedy, which is really good.
Yeah.
But all in all, man, great movie. I'm always entertained every time I watch it. Jake Lloyd, he's always Anakin Skywalker.
Yes.
Whether he's on Star Wars or on this one, it's
Really?
the same little kid with the same voice and the same attitude. He wanted a Turbo Man in Star Wars. They didn't give him a Turbo Man in Star Wars.
And look what happened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He went to the dark side and became Hayden Christensen. Terrible.
Good
All
luck.
right, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, okay, not to be too derisive, but I don't really like Jingle All the Way.
it's all
I
good.
just don't find it funny. It doesn't make me laugh. Unlike
That's cool,
so like Home Alone, right? Saw it as a kid, loved it. I can still watch Home Alone as an adult and really enjoy it, right? Jingle All the Way as an adult, it's like unbearable. But even as a kid, I didn't like it.
Really?
I was a child when I saw it because it came out like a year before I was born or something. So I saw both of these movies when I was a little kid. And they were both constantly in the, like, what is it, ABC Christmas rotation or whatever,
Yeah.
They both played constantly. So as a kid, I saw both these movies like over and over again, along with all the other Christmas staples that they played. And Jingle All the Way was always like my least favorite one whenever it came on. It was like, we'd have like, family Christmas movie marathon or whatever. And that was always the one that
And you were like,
looking
no.
forward to. Yeah, like, let's just skip that one,
This movie just does this jingle for me.
Yeah,
Jeez.
like let's
There's no
60
jingling.
minutes or something.
Jingle
Instead,
some of the way.
anything else.
Yeah.
Anything other
Like the
than
State
this.
Farm commercial. It doesn't
Yeah,
jingle.
and like I've never seen Sinbad or anything else, so I'm sure he's a talented dude and was good at other stuff. But I think his performance in this gives me like secondhand embarrassment. I don't know what he was going for in this one, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I love Arnold in his action movies. I don't really like any of his kid-friendly movies. It's not my type of
Not even
not my
Kindergarten
type of
Cop.
humor. Kindergarten Cop's the one I haven't seen. Never seen that.
Oh,
one.
okay. All right.
So yeah, but
All right.
Jingle All the
Copy
Way
that.
doesn't do anything for me. Don't like it.
It doesn't jingle
unfortunately.
for Sam. All right,
Yeah, it
copy
doesn't.
Yeah, do the
for
jingle.
me.
Do the jingle.
that. All right, Brandon.
Man, this movie, just kidding, definitely jingles for me. It definitely jingles all the damn way. This is one I saw when I was a kid in the movie theater with my dad, so there's huge nostalgia for that. I was only 5 years old. There's even little things I pick up on. Memory is a weird thing, but there's an end credit scene in this that got moved to the very end of the movie, where it's like, what'd you get My dog, well, like he said, the wife asked, like, "What'd you get me for Christmas?" He turns down the camera like, "Oh," and I remember like staying through the end credits and seeing that and being like, "Oh my god, there's gonna be a sequel." No, there was not. I know, of course. Like, yeah, it's one of those things, man. Like, I remember seeing this and just being on edge. Like, it was everything I could have wanted. I was already watching Arnold movies at this time. And even though this is dialed back a bit, obviously, for, the type of film it is, it's still like superhero type shit with Arnold. So that's awesome. Sinbad was amazing. I love their little battle at the end as you just pulled up. And I 100% agree. The ending gets me in my feels. When I was younger, not so much. I was just a 5-year-old. But that's what's great about this movie, because I remember relating to the kid, and I actually always see him as this kid instead of Anakin Skywalker. That's a whole nother story I could do without episodes 1, 2, and 3, which of course he's only in 1. That's forgettable to me amongst the Star Wars franchise as a whole. But this will always be his character to me. But what's so cool about it, now that I have a kid and I've been a fan of Arnold my whole life, even like his adult movies as a young age, because my parents were terrible. Just kidding. But seriously. But I now get to feel the feeling. It's cool, that transition of going from feeling, as the kid and like feeling kind of let down. But then at the end of the day, like, man, my dad's a superhero. I don't care. I don't even need this toy anymore. And then to go and transition now to Arnold's character, when I watch it, it touches me in a deep way where I'm like, man, like maybe I could be that superhero for my kid one day. And it actually does get me in my tears a little bit, like in my feels. I'm sitting there like, is this about to make me cry? My wife's like, you okay? I'm like, yeah, I just had I'm gonna make a sandwich in the kitchen real quick. I like
who is chopping onions?
Yeah, like I've literally never seen you eat a sandwich. Like, look, I'm going to get a sandwich. Like, it's like one of those things. Like, it gets me in my feels. And like, I think somebody was talking about like Sinbad, Arnold's chemistry, great. And honestly, this is how like Sinbad is in like every movie to me. Maybe I'm crazy, but this is just how he is. I think he did a great job. But if you don't like him here, I don't know if you'll like him in anything else. And yeah, just basically like what everybody else touched on, man. It's always hard going last and this kind of thing, but you try to just spark it up as much as you can. But like, yeah, I mean, Jingle All the Way has a very special place in my heart. No doubt about it. I love this movie.
All right. Copy that. I'm going to segue this question to Ian, just for fun. Ian, this question is for you.
Oh, I think Dennis the Menace would win. I mean, I just it's a tough one. It'd be a tough call. I mean, are we doing MMA rules or are we doing street rules?
You
got the 12-6 elbow or no? I mean, if you don't have that, then maybe Kevin McAllister. But I think if it's just a brawl out in the street, I think Dennis the Menace would win.
Copy that.
100%.
All right.
Christopher Lloyd didn't stand a chance.
All right, Neko.
Me. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Neko.
No, the girl next to you.
Shut up.
Is there a girl next to her?
I'm next to her.
That'd be crazy. Okay, shit.
Go ahead, Neko.
So I got Jingle All the Way as a Christmas present from my parents, and I think I'm older than most of you, so I was a teenager when I got it. Except for Santa. Santa is omnipresent, and
Santa is eternal.
He has no age. But for me, I got it, and I'm like, I've never heard of this movie. And my mom's like, oh, yeah, it's really funny. It's Arnold. You like Arnold. You like all those, Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. And my mom is thinking Arnold Schwarzenegger movies like, Predator. Like his action movies. And then I open it up and I watch it, and I'm like, this is not an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. This is a hysterical movie. Like... So I'm watching it, and at the end where he is Turbo Man and he's like taking off his mask. Yeah. And
it's Turbo time.
Yes.
And he's saying, I am your father. And he, like, the whole part where he's like, oh God, I wish my dad was here to watch this. And he said, oh, your dad loves you more than anything. And he takes off his helmet and he's like, I am your dad. And they hug. And then I cry like a banshee because I'm like, oh my God. this is a Christmas present I got like at 16, and I'm like, holy crap, this movie is funny, but it's also very, very like heartfelt at the same time.
That's where I cried too.
You forget about that portion. And the I Am Your Father got brought back later by his kid in Star Wars. I think this might be
Really?
That's why it's in the movie.
okay, confirmed. Yeah. I just put this together. I'm like blown away right now.
But I mean, honestly, I love that we're putting two slapstick comedies together because how much craziness happened. Like, they're in the mall and they're fighting over the bouncy ball. And then they're fighting over, like, everything. I mean, yes. I couldn't believe, like, honestly, how similar the jokes were in both stories. And I love slapstick comedy. And I'm like, holy crap. We watched it the other night again just to refresh myself, but I've seen this movie a million times because, again, my mom bought me this as a Christmas present, and I would watch it even if it wasn't Christmas time. I'm like, this is a funny movie. It doesn't need to be set at Christmas time. It could just be like, I need something to make me laugh, so I'd turn it on, and I'm like, oh, Arnold. So I truly do enjoy this movie a lot just for everything that it is, even if it is campy, even if it is kind of silly. I dig it. I don't know why.
No, I get it for sure.
All right, Nubis.
I saw this movie really by chance. Like, I didn't see it in the theater. I knew about it. But I wasn't sure I was going to like it. So it came on TV one day, and I just sat and watched it. And I was pleasantly surprised. I really, really did enjoy it. Again, the acting's good. I don't have any problems with Sinbad or Schwarzenegger in here. I'd already seen Kindergarten Cop, which is great. So I know that Arnie can do this comedy thing with, like, just being a regular Joe. The part where you guys mentioned the dwarf elf, I can't help but think of like Master Blaster from Thunderdome there. I don't know what it was, but when he smacks him off, that's the first thing I thought about.
Oh my god.
Acting is good in this, as I said. What I really liked about this, and I know that Home Alone kind of has a similar feel, but this is more of a redemption story for Schwarzenegger's character for me because he spends most of the movie trying to prove to his son that he does love him and that he does care, but he keeps getting himself in these situations where he keeps making the wrong choices. So, like, stealing from Phil Hartman's his neighbors, trying to take that dog.
Toy. That's right.
Because of the reindeer he had in there.
Oh my god, that reindeer.
Was that one of yours, Santa?
Such a good part.
Did you
thought
send
about
him?
bringing that up, but I missed it, and I was like, shit, I hope someone else does. So nice. Love it.
You started it.
But yeah, like, by the time it gets to the end, like, it's just a really feel good movie. The kid, as Neko said, is like, I don't need this doll. I've got the real thing right here.
My dad is Turbo Man.
That's all you need.
The other cool thing that I liked about this film, and it doesn't get talked about too much, is Robert Conrad, the cop, because, like, Schwarzenegger keeps having these run-ins with him, and it's just like over and over he keeps like, oh god, it's him again. So I thought that was kind of funny between him and Conrad.
I'm sorry about your mirror.
He's trying to pick up the motorcycle. Yeah, it's really a funny movie. I don't, I can get why some people might not like it. It really is campy, but that's my kind of thing. I really enjoy that kind of stuff. So,
copy that. I think the one part I remember the most that made me chuckle was when villain Sinbad pushes over. They're in the parade.
Yes.
He pushes over the box, the gift box around the actor,
the dancer.
Get out of my way, box. And then after that, we had this ridiculous shot of the box still on the ground,
and the legs.
We had the other characters running in like this to help. They have no
all the ornaments.
No arms.
Get away, box.
I did like when they were when Booster was on the float. And Sinbad was like, "Nobody likes you.
Nobody likes you, Booster."
Kicks him off, and then all the people start throwing crap at him.
And all the kids are kicking poor Booster. Oh my God, that's right.
All right, before we get to Ian, and Ian wraps it up for us, shout out to Bo for the super chat. He says, the only Christmas movies that make me cry both have Bruce Willis. But between those two, Booster for the win. Wow, look at that. All right, Ian.
Well, I can't say enough good stuff about this movie, quite honestly. I was alive in the whole, Cabbage Patch fiasco where there was, it was just nightmares at stores and crazy, just the craziness. So it really hit home for me when I saw them fighting over this Turbo Man, and then the lengths that they were going to, like, the depth of depravity that you see in Arnold Schwarzenegger when he's willing to go steal another kid's doll for the, he doesn't, no regard for that kid who's going to be crying, like, where's my Turbo Man? And, this is, well, I got to get it for my kid. So, one of the things I love about this movie too is the time period in which it encapsulates, and that is that time, like, the internet's out and cell phones are a thing, but not everybody has it. Yeah. And that is such a unique period of time because
pre-Star Wars.
It goes so quickly. It goes so quickly from a couple of your rich friends have maybe a cell phone, and I remember a time when everybody in my house had the same phone number. To everybody's got their own phone number. And so it was such a unique period of time that cell phones made an advent, and then next thing you know, everybody's got it. So that time of history, when I see it in movies, is really special to me. I mean,
yes, they were. He was at the payphone, and you're like, right. Payphones?
And it's 96. Cell phones were a thing. I had some friends who had America Online. I mean, it was out, but just not everybody had
not
it.
As prevalent.
Yeah, not as prevalent. So I really like that aspect of it. The first rated R show I ever snuck into was Conan. Too. I didn't know I was being watched by two older boys because I had a single mom, and awesome. so the older boys that were watching me took me to go see Star Trek. I can't remember. I think it was Star Trek 2 or something like that. And I'm like ready to see Star Trek.
Good choice.
Next thing you know, I'm watching Conan, and I'm like 7 years old or something like that. So
jealous.
I've been a big fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger for quite a while. And yes, I too, my eyes start to sweat, believe it or not, at the end of the show.
Ooh, yes.
My eyes get a workout sometimes. When they work out, they start sweating. And I don't like calling it crying, but
I thought you had strong eyes.
That's because I sweat so much, right?
Yeah, right.
And the whole idea, of the redemption arc and the true meaning of Christmas, better to give than to receive, and Jake Lloyd got that.
Oh, at the end, yes.
He gives the Turbo Man over to him, and I can't say too much that hasn't already been said before, but I really
nailed it, man.
Love the show.
Nice. Sam's getting ready to puke right now.
I had this last time. I was like,
where's my barf bag?
I will say my kid would have took the knockoff Turbo Man toy because she's half Mexican, so she just would have been like all in on it.
She would have been like,
"This will work. This works."
She'd been like, "Gracias."
Yeah, it has shooting arms.
She'd be like, even better. I would not have had to pull the Schwarzenegger.
Oh my goodness!
Not like I would take on the Big Show, anyways. Yeah,
take on the Big Show. All right, it's time to vote. It is time to vote. Anubis is the tally master today, and we already got one vote in from Derek from Flick Snacks Knickknacks. He voted for Jingle All the Way. I'm very surprised. Look at that. Yeah, mind blown. And Brandon, let him have it because he was supposed to be here. Let him have it. Let him have it.
Oh, you want to let him have it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna text him. I'm not
very
much for conversation. I'm just playing. Yeah, Derek, you fucking suck, bro. What's going on here, dude? What are you doing, man? What you told me a million times there's nothing to do in your town in Oklahoma. Just hop on the stream, bro. Well,
Man,
maybe
it
he's
just became a
screaming. Now I'm
roast.
rapping. That's weird. I don't know what's going on. No. Derek, love you, but damn it, man. Could
All
use
right.
He's pulling a heist.
Yeah, but I better shut up before it's like something serious. Like, yeah, I got something really going on. I'm like, oh, yeah.
No,
So
we love you,
not
Derek.
Jingle all the way in your life. Right
We
now,
love you, Derek. We'll get you back on here on the next one. Brandon,
for sure.
who you got?
Oh, damn. I ain't gonna lie, man. This was kind of close, and I was leaning because I adore both of these movies that I kind of touched on with Jingle All the Way. There is that same nostalgic factor. And might I say, though, real quick, when I think of Jingle All the Way and Home Alone, for some reason, I think of a huge gap. I don't think they're only like 5 years apart. That's so weird to me. I was looking at that before we came up. So I feel like I had to say that real quick because that blew my mind. Maybe nobody else. Okay, I'll continue.
The 90s were weird, right?
Yeah, it's like what? That's it. Like I thought Home Alone came out like way before. Like they were smashed together almost. Just a 5 year difference almost. Maybe that's what it is. But even though I was like 60-40 Home Alone, as I hopped on this shit, I was sitting there. I was like, man, this might be a little closer to 50-50 than I realized. Because damn, I do love that movie. I love Jingle All the Way, and I got to tell you, after I started thinking about my immense nostalgia, and after Fat Samurai Guy's story, I was like, damn, there is some touchingness to this, dude. I don't know what I can do here. It made it tougher. I had Home Alone on the way in, but I like a good upset too, though. So I think I'm gonna go Jingle All the Way.
That's three for Jingle.
So I never see that fucking hair again, because that is like disrupting my plans. But yeah, by a hair. I'm going to give it to Jingle All the Way.
Okay, copy that. Santa.
Santa don't vote.
Santa doesn't vote. Home Alone for Santa. Put Home Alone down. All right, Tony.
Yeah, the same way. It was like very, very close. And I think it all comes down to like they're both rewatchable. I was gonna say it comes down to rewatchability, but I think I've seen Home Alone too many times.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna go with Jingle All the Way.
Wow!
I love Home Alone. I love it. I love the second one.
Yeah,
but
wow,
there's just something about Jingle All the Way. I have to watch it. I could go without watching Home Alone around Christmas time because I've seen it so many times.
Right, gotcha. Wow,
but I have to see Jingle All the Way. Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
What is?
I was coming into this Home Alone as well.
All right, Sam. We already know.
Yeah, I mean, you know what's where I'm going.
Okay, Home Alone for Sam.
Sam's like Home Alone. Mic drop.
He's like,
I mean, you know,
talking about right now.
I'm glad you all like Jingle All the Way. You know, I would prefer to like it as well, but
I saw your answer coming after what you said. I was like, oh damn.
You know, actually,
if you changed your answer, that'd be like, oh, you're just getting on board with.
Yeah, that'd have been like, all right, bro, ride the
Sam's
bandwagon a little bit here.
Sam stays true.
Stick to your guns. It's a more popular choice.
All right, Salacious Crumb.
I was gonna vote for Home Alone.
No,
but then I found out this morning that Buzz, the older brother, got arrested for beating up his girlfriend.
Oh shit!
I didn't know that.
Salacious.
Yeah, just heard it on the news this morning.
Woof.
What is going on?
So now I'm gonna have to deter from Home Alone.
What? No. How's that affect the movie? Come on, man.
I was gonna vote for Jingle All the Way.
Wow!
Hey, I already told you why I love Jingle All the Way, man. Dwarves. If a movie has dwarves, I'm there. You
wow!
And Joe Pesci, let's be real,
I can't believe
what's
what's happening right now.
So, Salacious Crumb?
Are we in a different world right now?
Yeah, let me put it this way.
Where y'all at? Let's check in.
I'm bringing you all credibility for Christmas.
Got the Blu-ray?
Bring me some coal so I can
Getting rid of
break
it
it into
tonight.
diamonds.
You're just tossing it tonight.
Copy that. All right, Ian.
DVD. There you go.
You got the DVD.
So this really isn't a hard one for me at all. I'm sorry. I really did think I was going to be alone in this, except for I knew Derek because me and Derek talk quite a bit off screen. So I knew what his vote was going to be, and I thought
yeah.
that maybe me and him would only be the only two that voted this way. But I come in strong with Jingle All the Way. I
Wow.
like it much
I
better.
can't.
It's not that I dislike Home Alone. But
Yeah.
again,
Yeah, it's personal preference.
it's
Holy
again,
shit.
it's like if I miss Home Alone, like I really don't feel like I miss anything. But every year I make sure I have time to watch Jingle All the Way. I actually seek it out.
Oh my god.
Amen.
All right.
And look for
Can
it.
I recount my vote? I said I wanted the upset, but what is going on?
Nubis, where are we at now?
We are
Oh my god.
4 for Jingle and 1 for Home.
Okay, one should be 2 for home.
2 for Home.
Santa.
2 for Home Alone.
Oh, Santa.
I don't vote.
He officially voted.
Did he vote or no vote?
I did not vote. I have no vote.
Oh, he's not voting. All right. So
Okay.
all right,
He's abstaining.
he's abstaining.
Because he's
I thought
Santa.
that was a choice.
Santa.
I'm not
All
going
right.
to vote either. Take
That-
it away.
So hold up. It's
Put that cookie down.
it's
Yes,
it's
sir.
it's 5-1 Jingle
Okay.
right now.
Okay. Neko, who you got?
So I have no qualms for either movie, but I have to say that Jingle All the
I
Way.
knew it. Oh my god.
She's only been nodding the entire time. Every time it's like people saying it. So.
So
Weren't people saying in the chat that like this is easy? Like like this ain't even a comparison.
It just-
Why are
it
we
just-
doing this one?
for me, like, I love Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then when he does something like this, that's non-Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it makes me laugh and cry. Like, at the end of Jingle All the Way, I was, like, crying, and he's like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, oh, somebody's cutting onions. Oh, my God. Oh, tears.
Them
And
sandwiches.
Whoa.
so I was like, I've always liked Jingle All the Way just because I didn't know the movie existed. And then when my mom gave it to me as a Christmas present and I started watching it, and I'm like, this is really funny.
Yeah.
Again, Home Alone, hysterical, slapstick, should be a Three Stooges comedy, but something hit me right here in the heart with Jingle All the Way. Oh my God, Santa's not a Santa doesn't
Man's
agree.
about to jump in, dude.
He's gonna come steal all our presents this year.
Santa
Santa,
knew what you were going to say. Santa heard you before.
Santa, do I still get presents?
That's what you said again.
He's going to send his brother
What
Krampus in.
that's going to do. And the thing that surprised me is that you're surprised. Every Versus episode I've ever seen, it always turns out like that.
I think Joel said the same thing. Every time we're on, it's like, no.
It's like, what are these two doing? What are they doing?
Not all the
That's always
time.
doing the brain exploding. Why is your brain exploding? Your brain
Not all the
exploding,
time.
it doesn't die.
Die Hard won last week. Come on,
Let's
not all
let's
the
see
time.
what the public says about this tonight.
Oh, I didn't know.
Wait, Anubis has to vote.
You gotta
I think
go.
Santa has to give us a garbage day.
It's going to be 7-1.
Silent Night, Deadly Night 2.
I came into this like samurai. Like I really thought it was going to go one way over the other.
Uh-oh.
Never done.
Home Alone is not overrated. It is not overrated.
No way.
But Jingle is vastly underrated.
Yes.
Underrated, folks.
Yes.
Jingle All the Way is my pick. Period.
All right. Oh
20%
my
of
God.
Oh, I'm so
Jingle All the Way.
surprised.
I
am so
thought because of
surprised.
my story and my nostalgic attachment to the movie, I literally thought I was going to be the only guy. Holy shit! The winner today is
With
Oh
muscles.
my god, that movie's so bad.
What?
This is almost a sweep,
Look at
bro.
you guys are still awake.
Are we awake? Is the
And the
question.
public?
There you
Santa
go.
with muscles. Oh god.
I was like, wait a minute, what?
That was a joke.
I saw it for the first time last year, and I haven't watched it since.
And the
Oh,
public?
it's bad. It's bad. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see the audience poll. And this is not surprising. Here we go.
No.
Nope.
There we go. Audience poll. The internet poll. Here we go.
Ooh,
Hey, we
Sam.
got some 25
There you go,
percenters
Sam.
over here.
So we're the 25%. 25%. 25%.
The internet's got your back, Sam. There
That
you go.
actually, the 75% was Sam. He just went on and kept voting.
Is that what happened? Jeez.
Oh my goodness. Well, what this is what happens with verses, man. You don't know who's
Oh
gonna
my
win.
God.
You don't know
I really am surprised by that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Santa is unhappy. Look at him.
No, I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. I knew that was going to happen here.
Really?
I was completely predicting this, but as you've all said, and very wisely, both movies are great.
Mhm.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
Hey
That's
Santa,
There is,
good
there
verses.
is no loser.
Santa,
Except for Sam.
what do you
Yeah.
think? What do you think of John Travolta's Santa Claus in that commercial?
I love that commercial.
I do.
No,
The only
no.
I wish they had his actual wife as Mrs. Claus.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wish they had Kelly as Mrs. Claus.
But she died,
Oh
didn't
my goodness.
she?
she's passed.
Oh, she's passed. Wasn't aware of that.
Yeah,
she
she passed.
I keep bringing her gifts.
Because she's such a good girl.
Yeah.
The new homeowners must love that.
That's it. So it's
They're like, stop sending gifts.
confirmed.
Or hate it. Yeah, like,
we're
what is
all
this?
getting visits from Krampus this year. It's all
I ain't fitting in that
confirmed.
basket. I don't care.
I
Except
mean,
for
man, me and that dude are boys
Sam
right
getting
now.
Santa visit.
So it's all good.
All right. This is a blast as always, having all these legends here to talk about movies back and forth with verses. You never know who's going to win. That's why these episodes are always fun. And y'all know what you need to do. Subscribe to Retro Serial. That's right. Follow Ian. Subscribe to the Metal Tavern podcast. That's right. Follow it on Podbean. That's right. The Tag Team Champs of Horror and Metal. And subscribe to Box Office Banter. That's right. Brandon is there chilling with his homies. Talking movies.
There he is. There he is.
Son of a
Oh, look at that.
Son
Look
of a
at that. Love it. Love it. Love the shirt.
Sir.
That's right. And subscribe
Pushing
to
too
Mr.
many
Tony of
pencils.
the Dead. Subscribe to the Deadmeister there. That's right. And unsubscribe to the Sexy Sumo. Unsubscribe to him. Our goal is to get 0 subscribers for Sumo. That's our goal.
-5.
Oh,
0.0.
And subscribe to Brickwall Pictures, baby. My man Sam knows his shit. That's right. And follow Santa's podcast. That's right. It's
Hell
in
yeah.
the description
No.
box
No,
below.
don't worry about Santa. We have one thing to do for Santa, and that's be nice.
There you go.
Man,
That's right.
I didn't even know he
Be
had a podcast, but he's got to
I
be doing
don't.
something in the
I
in
don't.
between time, I guess.
Yeah.
Someone else that Pat knows.
Some guy named Rick.
Yeah.
Some dude named Rick.
Right.
Jolly old Saint Rick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
jolly old Saint Rick. All right. And if you're new here, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Another episode of Versus, and subscribe to the Old Samurai Guy. Let's hang out and have fun.
Of course.
And talk
Do so.
more movies in the future. If I don't see you guys, have a happy holidays, have a happy Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, all that shit. And if you ever wondered
Festivus.
if if you were curious if we threw, because you know how Samurai Guy is now, if we threw in Deadly Games to this 2 movies, I would have voted for Deadly Games. 'Cause that's how Samurai Guy rolls. now.
That's a wild card. Right
You're
there.
strong
Yeah.
about that.
I would have voted for that because that's how I am now. I'm kind of fucked up, but it's fun. All right, all right, guys. Thanks again for hanging out, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Be nice.
Merry-
Yeah, Merry
Be
Christmas.
nice and watch Deadly Games.
Yeah.